Choreb Beruach, Sword of the Spirit. Interpreted and narrated by Wendy. Shemot, Exodus, chapter 15. And Moshe brought Yeshariel from the Sea of Reeds, and they went out towards the wilderness of Shur, and they went 3 days in the wilderness, yet no water was found. And when they came to Marah, they could not drink the waters of Marah, for they were bitter. Therefore its name was called Marah, bitterness. So the people murmured against Moshe, saying, What will we drink? Therefore he cried unto Yahweh, and Yahweh showed him a tree. When he tossed it into the waters were made sweet. There he made a custom and judgment for them, and there he tested them. Therefore he said, If you will diligently hearken to the voice of Yahweh your Elohim, and do all that is right in his sight, and will give ear to his commandments, and keep all his customs, I will put none of these diseases upon you, which I have brought upon the Mitzrayim, for I am Yahweh, who heals you. And they came to Elim, where there were 12 wells of water, and 70 palm trees, and they encamped there by the water. Then they took their journey from Elim, and all the congregation of the children of Yeshariel came to the wilderness of Sin, which is between Elim and Sinai, on the 15th day of the 2nd month, after their departure from the land of Mitzrayim. And the whole congregation of the children of Yeshariel murmured against Moshe and Aharon in the wilderness. Moreover, the children of Yeshariel said to them, If only we had died by the hand of Yahweh in the land of Mitzrayim, when we sat by the meat pots, when we ate bread until full. For you have brought us forth into this wilderness to kill this whole assembly with hunger. Therefore Yahweh said to Moshe, Behold, I will rain bread from the heavens for you. Then the people will go out and gather a certain amount every day, so I may test them, whether or not they will walk in my teaching. And it will be on the 6th day they will prepare that which they bring in, and it will be twice as much as they gather daily. Then Moshe and Aharon said to all the children of Yeshariel, At evening, then you will know that Yahweh has brought you out from the land of Mitzrayim. And in the morning, then you will see the glory of Yahweh, for he hears your murmurings against Yahweh. And who are we, that you murmur against us? Moreover, Moshe said, This will happen when Yahweh gives you meat to eat in the evening, and bread until full in the morning, because Yahweh hears your murmurings, which you murmur against him. And who are we? Your murmurings are not against us, but against he who exists. Therefore Moshe spoke to Aharon, Say to all the congregation of the children of Yeshariel, Come near before Yahweh, for he has heard your murmurings. And it came to pass, as Aharon spoke to the whole congregation of the children of Yeshariel, that they looked towards the wilderness, and behold, the glory of Yahweh appeared in the cloud. Then Yahweh spoke to Moshe, saying, I have heard the murmurings of the children of Yeshariel. Speak to them, saying, At evening you will eat meat, and in the morning you will be filled with bread. Therefore you will know that I am Yahweh, your Elohim. And it came to pass at evening, quail came up and covered the camp. Also in the morning dew laid round about the encampment. And when the dew that laid about had gone up, behold, there was a small round thing upon the surface of the wilderness, as small as hoarfrost on the ground. Then, when the children of Yeshariel saw it, they said one to another, What is this? For they did not know what it was. Therefore Moshe said to them, "This is the bread which Yahweh has given you to eat. This is the thing which Yahweh has commanded. Every man will gather it for food, an omer according to the head count of souls. Every man will take for those in his tents." Thus the children of Yeshariel did so, and they gathered some more, some less. However, when they measured it with an omer, he who gathered much had nothing over, and he who gathered little had no lack. They gathered each man according to his eating. And Moshe said, "Let no man leave it until the morning." Nonetheless, they did not hearken to Moshe, and some of them left it until the morning. Therefore it bred worms and stank. Then Moshe was wroth with them. Furthermore, they gathered it every morning, each man's portion of food, and when the sun waxed hot, it melted. And it came to pass on the 6th day, they gathered twice as much bread, 2 omers for each one. Therefore all the rulers of the congregation came and told Moshe. Then he said to them, "This is what Yahweh has said. Tomorrow is the rest of the holy Shabbat unto Yahweh. Bake what you will bake, and seethe what you will seethe, and that which remains may be laid up for yourself, to keep until morning." Therefore they laid it up until morning, as Moshe instructed, and it did not stink, nor was there any worms in it. Moreover, Moshe said, "Today eat this, for today is a Shabbat unto Yahweh. Today you will not find it in the field. 6 days you will gather it, but during the 7th day, the Shabbat, none will be in it." And it came to pass on the 7th day, they went out from the people to gather, but none was found. Then Yahweh asked of Moshe, "How long will you men refuse to keep my commandments and my teachings? Behold, because Yahweh has given you the Shabbat, therefore he gives you the bread for 2 days, on the 6th day. Abide yourselves, every man in his place. Let no man go out of his place on the 7th day." Therefore the people rested on the 7th day. Moreover, the house of Yeshariel called the name of it manna, and it was like white coriander seed, and it tasted like honey wafers. Furthermore, Moshe said, "This is the thing which Yahweh commands. Fill an omer of it to keep for your generations, so that they may see the bread that I fed you with in the wilderness, when I brought you forth from the land of Mitzrayim." Therefore Moshe said to Aharon, "Take a pot, and put an omer full of manna in it, and lay it up before Yahweh, to keep for your generations." So Aharon laid it up before the testimony, to keep it as Yahweh commanded Moshe. Thus the children of Yeshariel ate manna for 40 years, until they came to the land they would inhabit. They ate manna until they came to the borders of the land of Canaan. Now an amer is 1/10 part of an aipa. And all the congregation of the children of Yeshariel set out from the wilderness of Sin, to journey according to the commandment of Yahweh. And they pitched in Rephidim, but there was no water for the people to drink. So the people contended with Moshe, and said, "Give us water that we may drink." But Moshe asked of them, "Why do you contend with me? Why do you tempt Yahweh?" And there the people thirsted for water. Therefore the people murmured against Moshe, and asked, "Why is it that you have brought us up out of Mitzrayim to kill us and our children and our livestock with thirst?" So Moshe cried unto Yahweh, saying, "What can I do for these people? They are almost ready to stone me." Then Yahweh answered Moshe, "Go onward before the people, and the elders of Yeshariel with you. Also your rod, which you struck the river, take it in your hand and go. Behold, there I will stand before you with a choreb, sword, above the rock. Therefore you will strike the rock, and water will come out of it. Then the people may drink. Thus Moshe did in the sight of the elders of Yeshareal. And he called the name of the place Massa Umeribah, from temptation and strife, because of the strife of the children of Yeshareal, and because they tempted he who exists, saying, Is Yahuwah among us or not?